everyone, welcome to another edition of Luthiers Lair, and in this one-off episode I'm going to be showing you how to set up a Gazzbass Falcon Series II bass guitar. So let's get to it. Okay, here we are, Gazzbass Falcon Series II. This is the standard model and one that I use for demoing. Bass guitar setup, indeed any guitar setup really, is a matter of numbers, but there are some numbers that I stick to for decent setup. And the four basic steps of setting up a bass guitar is neck relief, string height, okay, and then we have intonation, and then we have pickup height. I'm going to go through each one in turn and we'll explain what they are and how to adjust them. Okay, first is neck relief. Now that's whether the neck is bowed that way or bowed that way. What we want is a slight back bow to the neck. Okay, that's what we want. And how do we achieve this? Well, we use the truss rod, which is a steel rod that goes through the middle of the neck, to adjust the bend of the neck. That's what the truss rod is for, to keep the neck pretty straight. And the way I usually like to measure it is I take a capo, which just clamps the strings down, and I put the capo on the first fret right here. Okay? Then what I'll do is I'll lift the guitar up like so, and I will press down the 17th fret on the E string here, and I will get a 12th thou feeler gauge and go to the 7th fret and slide it under the 7th fret, and if it just slides under, which this one is doing, then it's pretty much bang on. Now if it falls through, if the feeler falls through, then the neck is too much of a back bow in it, and you need to tighten the truss rod so that the neck moves backwards. Similarly, if the feeler gauge does not go through and it sticks, then the neck is too straight and you need to slacken the truss rod off. So that is neck relief. Fortunately, this guitar is about perfect actually. Yeah, I wouldn't touch that. I might slacken that off a little bit. So let's slacken it off, shall we? Okay, tightening the truss rod on the Falcon Series II. Right is tight, left is loose. So I want to loosen this off slightly because there is a little bit too little relief on the neck. So I'm only going to do 1/8 of a turn on the truss rod. Okay, that's about 1/8 there. And let's see if that worked. I'm going to put the capo back on, and I'm going to pan out here. Hold on, so you can see what's happening. Hello. Alright. And we'll lift the bass up. Once again, capo on fret 1, finger on fret 17 here, and at the 7th fret, and that's about perfect. And again, under here, yeah, I wouldn't touch that. That's beautiful. Okay, neck relief done. Now we're going to move on to string height. Okay, string height. Now for string height I use a little rule that you can buy off like internet, Amazon stuff, and I'll just quickly show you this little rule, like a Luthiers rule there. You see that? Square, and it has all different measurements on it. I usually use the 64ths of an inch part of the rule here, and what I'm looking for is a string height between 5 and 6 64ths at in this case the 17th fret. So it's 15, 17 right here. So I'm going to lift the bass up like that, and I'm going to put the rule at the 17th and measure off the string height. That is 5.5 64ths. So I like that. That's 5 64ths, 5 64ths, and the G is a little high, it's 7 64ths. So how do I adjust the height of the string? Well, you use the saddle here. Okay, so I will take my little Allen key here, Allen wrench, and I'm going to rotate the screws the same amount each. Okay. Now what you're doing by adjusting the string height is if they're all equal, we'll follow the radius of the fingerboard. So they're all pretty good right now except for the G, and I'm going to lower the string height. So I'm going to give this about half a turn. That's the wrong Allen key, Gary. Well done. About half a turn. And again on this one, half a turn. And you see it going down. I'm going to sort of raise that one a bit because it's not engaging. There we go. And remeasure and see if the string got lower at the 17th. And indeed it did. That's between 5 and 6 64ths. So that's good for me. That number's good for me. It's a nice low action and you don't have to work too hard when you're fingering the fingerboard there. Now, what will we do next? Yes, we will now move on to intonation. Now, that's when you play an open string and then you play an octave higher. It's got to be exactly the same note, but exactly one octave higher. Now, sometimes the bass will go out of adjustment, especially with new strings. You've got to break the strings in. And when you do that, and then press the octave might be sharp, or the octave note might be flat. So we've got to adjust the length of the pivot of the string between the nut and the saddle. Okay, if the string is sharp, that means the string is from the nut here to the saddle is too short, so we've got to lengthen the string by pulling the saddle back. Okay, if the note is too flat at the octave, too flat, then we need to shorten the length of the string between the saddle and the nut, and by doing, we push the saddle forward by doing that. It's best to have a tuner handy, so I'm going to show you that. Okay, our tuner's plugged in. First off, I'm going to play an open G. And you can see the green lights flickering there a bit. That's it. It's in tune, okay? See that? Green light there. Let's play a D. Oh, and I'm bang on with the tuning there. So the first thing is to get the guitar in tune, okay? Which I did beforehand, but you can see there. Now I'm going to show you, like there's the E, I'll put that out of tune. See that jumping around there? There we go. Guitar is now in tune. Okay, now we're going to play the octave note on the G, and it should show as a G. And it is sharp. What does that mean? That means the string is too short and the string needs to come back a bit. So, in the Falcon Series II, there is a screw in here that you can adjust that will pull the string either back or forward. Now, did I get the right screwdriver for this? Yes, I did. So I'm going to pull the saddle back to make the string longer. Okay, just a little bit. Just make sure it's in tune again. There you go. Open, and now octave. still a little sharp. Once again we go in and we pull the string back a bit. I'm thinking that the intonation, because I screwed around with this so it was completely out. This is an important step, so once again, leave it open, and that's in tune. Very slightly sharp still. I'm going to pull this in a bit more. This is finicky, this one. Here we go. Okay. Almost there. And there you go. Okay, so that's how you adjust intonation. Now I'm going to go the same thing for all the other strings. So the D, that's that in tune open, and as you can see that's way sharp at the octave, so that requires quite a bit of cranking here. So I'm going to, a good way to tell is this, the pattern of the string should be staggered actually. When you're looking at it, it should go whoop, like that. This is furthest out and this is furthest in. Okay, so the G saddle is furthest out, the E saddle is furthest in, and they all should follow a certain line, really. Okay, so we'll try this again. I know that's sharp as hell. Okay. There's D. Almost there. A bit more. Okay. There's a good way to check also is the harmonic. When you just touch the 12th fret, you'll produce a 12th fret harmonic, which is an octave higher than the string. And there you go. Perfect intonation on the D. Now I'm going to go ahead and do the A and the E. You get the idea? That's how you do it. Move the saddles back and forward until you get a perfect octave. There's the G. There's the D. Both D's, okay? Okay, so intonation is done. Harmonic. Okay, so the strings are now beautifully intonated. Now remember, intonation is kind of an illusion. You'll never get it bang on, but as close as you can get is good. Okay, now pickup height. Pickup height I like to measure by pressing down the 21st fret or the 24th, depending on whether you've got a 21 fret, 24 fret bass, of course. Let's try the 24th. The pickup height should be 4 millimeters. Now this is a 4 millimeter Allen wrench here, and I'm just using that as a feeler gauge, and I can tell the pickups on this are too high. So this needs lowered, and at this side it needs lowered as well. So we go in and we just lower the pickup a bit on each side. There we go. Okay, that's beautiful. 4 millimeters pressed down at 24th fret. Should just go under. It shouldn't. It should be a struggle to get that under. But you've got enough clearance there now that you'll still get power from the pickup, but the strings won't rattle like hell off of the pickup. And the same thing goes for the bridge pickup. needs to go down a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to give that 3 turns. And 1, 2, 3. Just going under, just going under. Now 3 to 4 millimeters pressed down at the 24th is plenty, is way plenty. That's this bass is now set up to play. So let's have a little play through the crap bass amp, shall we? Awesome. Okay, so the bass is nicely set up. String height is where I want it, neck relief is where I want it, pickup height is where I want it, and intonation is adjusted as good as I could get it. So, a good tune to play that I find is good, you can play any you want, but a good one I find is Doon Tune by Level 42, to try and figure out where the intonation's at, and play it slow, okay? Everything sounds good. If the intonation was off, the high part, now I'm fretting this right here. That high B there should be perfectly in accord with the low E, and that sounds perfect. And that A that I'm playing here on the G should be perfect as well. And you'll tell if the intonation is off. If that A is sharp when you play that D, it's going to sound awful. Okay, so that's perfect intonation there. String height, let's see. Like the string height. Let's back that off a bit, and that. Bass up a little bit on there. You have a complete setup on the Falcon, nicely set up, and that's how you do it, okay, for this particular model. Okay, I hope that helps everyone, especially my good friend Franco. This video is actually specially made for him, but it applies to anyone who's going to buy a Falcon Series II. I hope you consider it as a good alternative or an option for you to buy. So, all set up. Thanks again for joining me, and as usual, stay safe, be good, and I'll see you next time. Cheers guys, bye bye.